friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Knowledge Academy. The main aim of this lecture is to discuss about the communication systems ESC prelims questions in a very detailed manner. If you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever I upload a new video, the direct notification comes to mobile. If any improvements needed in our video lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. So why do we waste more time? So let's get started. So now we are going to solve the 11th question. See the question here. A modulator is a device. A modulator is a device to option A, separate two frequencies. Option B, impress the information onto a radio frequency carrier. Option C, extract information from the carrier. Option D, amplify the audio frequency signal. So what are the four options? Option B, impress the information onto a radio frequency carrier is a correct solution of this question. So let's discuss something more facts about this one. Generally, the message signals are low frequency signals. So the low frequency signals cannot transmit for the long distances. So therefore, we need to do the modulation process. So by using the modulation process, we are going to transmit this low message signals to a high frequency signals. By using the modulation technique, we are going to transform this low frequency message signal to a high frequency message signal. So therefore, this high frequency message signal can be transmitted for the huge amount of distance. So this message M of t is nothing but a message signal, and C of t is nothing but a carrier wave. So now we need to do the modulation of these two signals. So therefore, the output is S of t. So now this S of t has to be amplified. So by using the amplifier, we are going to amplify this S of t signal, and then the output is sent to the antenna. So this is a transmitter antenna. So by using the transmitter antenna, we are going to send this signal, and at the receiver end, we have to do the demodulation process. By using the demodulation process, we are going to get back the message signal. So that is called as a demodulation. But here in the modulation, we are going to transform this low message signal or the low information signal to a high frequency signal. So therefore, this is M of t. This is a very low frequency signal, means the time period is huge one. So whenever the time period is increases, means the frequency decreases. So therefore, this is a low frequency signal. So and the carrier we are going to use is a high frequency signal, means in a given time period, the number of waves are very larger. That is the reason it is called as a high frequency signal. So C of t. So now by using this modulation process, we are going to get this output. So this is the output S of t. So this is the output S of t. This output we are going to give to the amplifier, and then we are going to send to the transmitter. So if you see carefully, the peak value of this signal is Vc plus Vm, and the minimum value of this signal is Vc minus Vm. So here the black one indicates the message signal. So at the demodulation process, at the receiver end, we need to do some technique. By demodulation, we are going to get the envelope of this signal, because the envelope of the signal is going to contain the message signal. So by using the demodulation technique or the envelope detector method, we are going to get the envelope of this S of t. So therefore, the true message signal can be obtained. So this is all about the modulation. Modulation means nothing but we are going to impress the low frequency signal to a high frequency signal by using the modulation technique. So now we are going to solve the 12th question. See the question here. In AM, the percentage of total power in sideband is. So in amplitude modulation, we need to find what is the percentage of total power which is present in the sideband. Option A 10%, option B 16.67%, option C 23.34%, option D 33.33%. So the four options, option D 33.33% is the correct solution of this question. So in amplitude modulation, the percentage of sideband power is 33.33%. So let's solve this numerical. So in the question, we need to find what is the amount of percentage of the sideband power. So out of the total power. So total power is nothing but Pc into 1 plus m square by 2. So now I am going to take Pc inside. So Pc plus Pc into m square by 2. So this is called as a carrier power. So Pt is equal to carrier power plus sideband power. So therefore, if you do the comparison, sideband power is equal to Pc into m square by 2. So we need to find what is the percentage of the sideband power out of the total power. Means sideband power by the total power into 100. So sideband power we already know, which is Pc into m square by 2, and the total power is Pc into 1 plus m square by 2 into 100. So if you do simplification, we are going to get m square by 2 plus m square into 100. So suppose let me assume when m is equal to 1. So when m is equal to 1, if you substitute here, we are going to get as a 33.33%. Means when m is equal to 1, the amount of sideband power, out of the total power is nothing but 33.33% is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 13th question. See the question here. An AM voltage signal S of t with a carrier frequency of 1.15 gigahertz as a complex envelope G of t is equal to AC into 1 plus M of t, where AC is equal to 500 volt and the modulation is a 1 kilohertz sinusoidal test tone described by M of t is equal to 0.8 sin into 2 pi into 10 to the power of 3t appears across a 50 ohm resistive load. So what is the actual power dissipated in the load? So this is what given in the question. So in the question they have given a message signal waveform also they have given with a frequency of 1 kilohertz, and also they have given a complex envelope, and also the frequency of the carrier wave is 1.15 gigahertz also they have given. So they also given a resistive load, means we can assume it as a transmitter of a resistance of 50 ohm. So we need to find what is the amount of power which is dissipated in the load. So what are the four options? Option C, 3.3 kilowatt is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. The question they are given a complex wave envelope waveform is AC into 1 plus M of t. So in the question they also given AC is equal to 500 volt. So let me assume AC is equal to VC as per our standard equation. So therefore M of t also they have given the message signal is 0.8 sin of 2 pi 10 to the power of 3 t. They also given the question. If you see carefully from here, 2 pi f is nothing but frequency of the message signal is 10 to the power of 3 hertz. So the carrier frequency also they have given, Fc is equal to 1.15 gigahertz. They also given the resistance of the load is 50 ohm. So now we need to find what is the amount of power which is dissipated on this 50 ohm resistor. So here S of t is the amplitude wave, means AM wave, the waveform of AM wave is, the equation of AM wave is Vc. So in place of Vc I am going to write here Vc into 1 plus M of t. So for this we need to multiply cos of carrier wave frequency. So cos of 2 pi into Fc t. So if you see carefully, Vc is equal to 500 volts, we already know, and M of t is equal to 0.8 sin of 2 pi into 10 to the power of 3t, and this is the cos of 2 pi into Fct. So now I am going to write the standard equation. For a single message signal, the AM wave standard equation is Vc into 1 plus M into cos of 2 pi Fmt into cos of 2 pi Fct. So if you see carefully, or if you compare these two equations, Vc is equal to 500 and M is equal to 0.8. And Fc, which is already we know, Fc is equal to 1.15 gigahertz. Always the carrier frequency is greater than the message signal frequency. So if you do the comparison, Vc is equal to 500 volt and M is equal to 0.8, and the resistance of the load is also which is given 50 ohm. So now we need to find what is the power which is dissipated on this load. So Pt is equal to Pc into 1 plus M square by 2. So Pt we need to figure out. So Pc is nothing but the carrier power. The carrier power formula is the amount of power which is carried by the carrier wave is Vc square by 2r. So Vc square by 2r into 1 plus M square by 2. So we know the value of Vc. Vc is 500 and r is 50 and M is 0.8. So substitute all these values in this equation. Now we are going to get the answer. So 500 whole square by 2 into 50 into 1 plus 0.8 whole square by 2. So if you solve this equation, we are going to get the power is 3.3 kilowatt. So therefore this much amount of the power is dissipated on this resistive load of 50 ohm. So always we need to write the standard equation, and then we have to do the comparison between the two things, and from that comparison we are going to get the values. By using those values we are going to solve the numerical. Now we are going to solve the 14th question. See the question here. Which of the following modulated signals can be detected by an envelope detector? So what is the following of the modulated signals can be detected by an envelope detector? Option A, DSB, suppressed carrier. Option B, DSB, full carrier. Option C, frequency modulated signal, and option D, SSB, suppressed carrier. So for the four options, option B, dual sideband full carrier means the AM wave must contain the dual sideband, means lower sideband and upper sideband, and also the full carrier. Then only by using the envelope detector we are going to get the message signal from the AM signal. So let's solve this numerical. So the low frequency message signals cannot be transmitted for the long amount of duration of the distance. So therefore, by using the modulation technique, we are going to change this low message frequency signal to a high frequency message signal. So by using the carrier is nothing but a high frequency signal. So by using the modulation technique, we are going to get a signal S of t. The S of t signal is now a very high frequency signal, and then we are going to do the amplification, and then we are going to send the transmitter, means antenna. So by the antenna we are going to send this signal. So the receiver, at the receiver end there is an antenna. This receiver is going to sense the signal S of t, and by using the amplification, and then we are going to send through the envelope detector. So by sensing through the envelope detector, we are going to get the original signal, which is nothing but message signal. So by using this is called as a demodulation, and the first one is called as a modulation process, and the second one is called as a demodulation process. So by using the demodulation process, we are going to get the message signal by using the envelope detector. So this S of t means the S of t is going to contain the message signal in the terms of the envelope of the signal. So therefore, by using the envelope detector, we are going to detect only the envelope of the S of t. So then we are going to get the message signal. So this envelope detector is going to get the accurate message signal only when the modulation index value is less than or equal to 1, means it has to lies only in this region but not greater than 1. If it is greater than 1, the message signal which you are going to get is not the original signal, it is a distorted waveform of the message signal. So therefore here this S of t is nothing but an amplitude modulation signal. This S of t is going to contain the carrier waveform and also upper sideband and the lower sideband. So this is going to contain the equations of the carrier signal, upper sideband and the lower sideband. So this upper sideband and the lower sideband both combinedly called as the dual sideband, means this equation is going to contain the two terms which are the upper sideband and the lower sideband. So similarly, so by simply we can call it as a dual sideband and a carrier. So therefore DSB, dual sideband full carrier. So when the S of t is going to contain the dual sideband with a full carrier, then only by using the envelope detector we are going to detect the envelope of the S of t, and then we are going to get the message signal only under the case when the modulation index lies purely between these values. Otherwise we are not going to get the original signal, but we are going to get the distorted waveform of the message signal. So whenever the S of t means amplitude waveform is going to AM wave, if it contains the DSB, dual sideband full carrier, then only that signal we can, by using the envelope detector technique, we can get the original signal. So now we are going to solve the 15th question. The question says that a broadcast AM radio transmitter radiates 125 kilowatt, means the power radiated power is also given, which is PT. PT is equal to 125 kilowatt when the modulation percentage is 70%. So M is equal to 0.7. So how much of this is a carrier power? So now we need to find, so in the signal how much amount of the carrier power which is present. So out of the total power. So option A nearly 25 kilowatt, option B nearly 50 kilowatt, option C nearly 75 kilowatt, and option D nearly 100 kilowatt. So out of the four options, option D nearly 100 kilowatt is the correct solution of this question. So in the question they are given the PT. PT also which is given 125 kilowatt and the modulation index is 0.7. So we need to find S of t AM waveform. We need to find how much amount of the carrier power which is present. So let's solve this numerical. So PT is equal to 125 kilowatt and the modulation index is 0.7. So PC we need to figure out. So the basic equation is PT is equal to PC into 1 plus M square by 2. So PT we already know, which is 125 kilowatt. PC we need to figure out, and in place of M we need to substitute 0.7. So if you solve this equation with only one unknown PC, so PC we are going to get nearly 100 kilowatt. So this much amount of the carrier power which is present in the total power. So if the total power is 125 kilowatt is equal to the total power is equal to carrier power plus sideband power. So therefore if this is 100 kilowatt, so therefore the sideband power will be 25 kilowatt. So in the question they can ask how much amount of sideband power is present. So therefore then the sideband power is 25 kilowatt and the carrier power is 100 kilowatt. So totally this signal is going to carry a power of 125 kilowatt amount of power which is transferred, which is carried by this signal. So in this way we can easily solve this numerical. So now we are going to solve the 16th question. See the question here. A given AM broadcast station transmits an average carrier power output of 40 kilowatt, means the carrier power which is 40 kilowatt, and uses a modulation index of 0.707. So they are given the modulation index of 0.707. So for sine wave modulation, so what is the maximum peak amplitude of the output if the antenna is represented by a 50 ohm resistive load? Means when the antenna is represented by 50 ohm resistive load, so we need to find what is the maximum peak value of the output waveform. So they have given the carrier power which is 40 kilowatt, the modulation index is 0.707 and the antenna resistance is 50 ohm. So now we need to find what is the maximum value, maximum peak value of the output voltage we need to figure out. So what are the four options? Option C, 3.414 kilovolt is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So in the question they are given the carrier power which is 40 kilowatt and the modulation index is 0.707 and the antenna resistance is 50 ohm. So now we need to find what is the maximum output voltage value we need to figure out. So I have already discussed here the maximum output voltage of the S of t is nothing but Vc plus Vm. Vc is the peak value of the carrier waveform and Vm is the peak value of the message signal. So always Vc is always greater than the Vm, then only we are going to get the modulation index less than 1. So therefore here we know the basic formula. The modulation index is nothing but Vm by Vc. So peak value of message signal by peak value of the carrier wave. So therefore Vm is equal to M into Vc. So Vm is equal to M into Vc. Now I am going to substitute in place of Vm is equal to MVc. So Vc plus in place of Vm I am going to substitute M into Vc. So therefore if I take the Vc as a common, which is 1 plus Vc into 1 plus M. So here we also know the another formula which is carrier power. The carrier power is nothing but Vc square by 2R. R is nothing but the transmitter resistance, means the transmitter resistance. So in the question if they are not given anything about the resistance of the transmitter, then by default we are going to assume that resistance is equal to 1 ohm. But in the question they are given the resistance is 50 ohm. So therefore here in place of R we need to substitute 50. So now I am repeating it again. So if in the question they have not given the resistance of the antenna, then by default we are going to assume it as 1 ohm. But if in the question they have given some value, then we have to substitute that value. So therefore Vc is equal to under root over 2 PCR. So therefore in place of Vc I am going to substitute this equation. So in place of Vc under root over 2 PCR into 1 plus M. So we know the value of PC, we know the value of R, and also we know the value of M. So therefore under root over 2 into PC is nothing but 40 kilowatt. So 40 into 10 to the power of 3, R is equal to 50 ohm. In place of M, 0.707. So if you solve this equation, we are going to get here the maximum output voltage value is 3.414 kilovolt. So this is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 17th question. See the question here. A DSB SC signal is generated using the carrier signal cos of omega ct plus theta and modulating signal m of t. So what is the envelope detector output of this DSB SC signal? So DSB SC is nothing but dual sideband with a suppressed carrier, means that output waveform is not going to contain any of the carrier signal. It is going to have only the dual sidebands, means upper sideband and the lower sideband are only present in the output of this dual sideband suppressed carrier. So now what is the output of the envelope detector? So by using the envelope detector, so what is the output equation we need to figure out? So what are the four options? Option B, mod of M of t is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So let me explain a very three simple cases. Here these are the questions which are repeatedly asked in examination. So for this envelope detector, means envelope detector is going to detect only the envelope of the signal of the S of t. S of t is called as a amplitude modulated signal. So whenever the input contains the carrier signal and the dual sideband, then the output will be Vc plus M of t mod. So this is the output equation. So whenever the input is going to carry, when the input has a carrier signal and the dual sidebands, so this is the output equation, Vc plus m of t with a modulus. So therefore now suppose if you are going to consider only DSB means only dual sidebands are present but not the carrier. So whenever the carrier is absent, so in place of Vc we need to substitute here 0. So whenever the carrier is absent means we need to substitute in place of Vc 0. So 0 plus m of t is nothing but m of t with a modulus symbol. So with a modulus symbol. Suppose if the input has only carrier means now the DSB is 0. So DSB is 0 is nothing but now we need to substitute m of t is equal to 0. So therefore the remaining term is Vc. So Vc is nothing but here DC value. Vc is a constant value means it is a DC value means Vc is nothing but a peak value of the carrier signal. So whenever the input has a carrier and the DSB, the output equation is Vc plus m of t mod. So when only DSB is present means carrier has to be 0. So when the carrier is 0, it has to be m of t mod. So when the DSB is 0 means only carrier is present. So in place of m of t substitute 0. So therefore Vc plus 0 is nothing but Vc. So in the question they have given this one. In the question they are given if the input is only DSB means only dual sidebands are present but not the carrier waveform. So carrier waveform is suppressed means we can simply write it as a dual sideband with a suppressed carrier means the carrier is not at all present in the output equation. So therefore now the envelope detector is going to have an output equation of m of t with a modulus symbol. But if it has a dual sideband with carrier, then this is the output equation of the envelope detector. But if the input is only carrier signal, then this is the output equation of the envelope detector. So now we are going to solve the 18th question. See the question here. The original spectrum of a message contains of 100 Hz and 200 Hz means the message signals are two message signals of frequency 100 Hz and 200 Hz frequency components. It is amplitude modulated by a carrier of 0.9 kHz means the carrier frequency is 0.9 kHz. So now which frequency components are contained in the amplitude modulated signal spectrum? So in the amplitude modulated spectrum, so what are the frequencies which are present? So what are the four options? Option C, which is 700, 800, 900, 1000 and 1100 Hz. So let's solve this numerical. So the carrier signal frequency is which is 0.9 kHz means 900 Hz. So for the message signal 1, 100 Hz and the message signal 2 which is 200 Hz. So now by using the amplitude modulation technique, so we need to find what are the frequencies which are present in the output waveform. So output waveform is S of t. So in the S of t we need to find what are the frequencies terms which are present. So basically there will be like this: FC plus or minus FM1 and FC plus or minus FM2. So the carrier frequency term will be present and the carrier frequency sum are plus or minus of first signal frequency and similarly FC plus or minus second message signal frequency. So these are the frequencies which are going to present in the S of t. Suppose there are next frequency means another message signal, then it will be FC plus or minus FM3. So these are the frequencies which are going to present. So substitute here FC is equal to 900 Hz which we all know. So FC is equal to 900 and FM is 100. So 900 plus or minus 100. So 900 plus 100 means 1000. 900 minus 100 means 800 and similarly FC plus or minus FM2. So FC is 900 and FM2 is 200. So if you do the addition it is 1100 and if you do the subtraction it is 700. So these are the frequencies 900, 1000, 800, 1100 and 700. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frequency terms which are going to present in the standard equation S of t. So 900, 1000, 800, 1100, 700. So this is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the 19th question. See the question here. If two signals modulate the same carrier with a different modulation depths of 0.3 and 0.9. So modulation depth is nothing but m. So m is also called as the modulation depth or modulation index. So here the resulting modulating signal will have. So now we need to find what is the modulation inductance of the resultant signal. So out of the four options, option D has the resultant modulation inductance around 0.95 is the correct solution of this question. So let's solve this numerical. So now the first signal has a modulation index of 0.3 and the second signal has a modulation index of 0.9. So now we need to find what is the resultant modulation index. So it is nothing but square root over m1 square plus m2 square. So if there are more number of modulation inductance means you need to do the same summation with the squares. But here there are only 2, so therefore no need to take the extra terms. So under root over m1 is 0.3 whole square plus and m2 is 0.9 whole square. So if you solve this equation, we are going to get m is nothing but 0.95. So this is the resultant modulation index of the resultant signal. So 0.095 is the correct solution of this question. So now we are going to solve the last question of this lecture. See the question here. So what is the power contained in the SSB single sideband transmission when the carrier power is 1 kilowatt and the modulation index is 0.3? So out of the 4 options, option A 22.5 watt is the correct solution of this question. So here in the question they are asking what is the SSB, means single sideband. So only in the single sideband we need to find what is the amount of power which is present. So carrier power which is given as 1 kilowatt and the modulation index is 0.3. So let's solve this numerical. Now we will learn some of the important concept. The total power transmitted is nothing but summation of the carrier power, upper sideband power and the lower sideband power. So here PC plus PUSB plus PLSB, carrier power, upper sideband power and the lower sideband power. So PC is PC, and here upper sideband power and the lower sideband power will have the same amount of power in the amplitude modulation, which is PC into m square by 4 and PC into m square by 4. So if you do the summation of all these 3 quantities, we are going to get the standard equation, which is PC into 1 plus m square by 2. So in the question they have asked only the what is a single sideband power. Single sideband power is nothing but we can take either upper sideband power or the lower sideband power, because the power in each band is a very same quantity. So therefore the single sideband power is also called as the upper sideband power or the lower sideband power. See, these two are going to have the same power, but if they ask what is the sideband power, if they ask what is the sideband power, then you need to take the summation of the upper sideband power plus the lower sideband power. But if they ask only what is the single sideband power, means whether you can take power USB or whether you can take here LSB, nothing will happen. But here, so therefore if you solve this one, we know the PS USB and the PLSB equations are PC into m square by 4. In the question they have given PC is equal to 1000 watt or 1 kilowatt means 1000 watt and the modulation index is 0.3. So we need to find what is the power in the single sideband power. So this is the thing which we need to figure out. So we know the basic equation, the single sideband power is nothing but PC into m square by 4. So PC value we know which is 1000 watt and the m is 0.3 whole square by 4. So if you solve this equation, we are going to get 22.5 amount of power, 22.5 watt amount of power which is carried by a single sideband, means the upper sideband power and the lower sideband power each individually are going to carry a power of which is 22.5 watt. So by this lecture we have successfully completed the 20 questions which are the previous year communication systems questions of the ESC prelims in a very detailed manner. If you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever you upload a new video, the direct notification comes on mobile. If any improvements needed in our lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Keep smiling, take care and bye bye.